Hello class, we're going to look today in this video at modeling the interior of the building. Now there's really no new modeling tricks like intersect with model or anything you'll need to do like that. In fact, you'll do it with just your basic modeling things. But in Sketchup there are some tricks you can do to sort of make it easier that I'm going to show you, and that's using components and sort of being clever about how you model this interior. Now, just a word before I start actually doing that modeling of the interior, I want to say, if I were just doing this drawing just to get exterior perspectives, I would never model the interior. Only model what you need to. If I only needed one perspective and I knew this was the perspective that I see up here on screen, I wouldn't even model the back and the other side of the building. It wouldn't be necessary. But we are going to be doing interior section perspectives from this model later on in the semester, so we will need the interior built. So we might as well go ahead and build that now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn back on my CAD layer, and I hit my name to organize it. So the 0 CAD layer is up at top. And I'm just going to move my floor plans a little bit. I'm going to move this sort of over here. There's my first floor plan. I'm going to take my second floor plan and move that over just so I can get it nice and clear. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to model my interiors over here, and then I'm going to make them components, not groups. I'm going to make them components that way, and then I'm going to copy the first floor over to here, which you want to pay attention to where it goes, and the second floor over to here. That way what I can do is, if I need to make changes to my interior, I can work on the component over here, and I know since it's a component, it is also making the changes at the same time inside my building. So it's a very convenient way to be able to work on the interior, especially, I mean, you have a finalized project here, but in the real world things change. You build the model, you do some drawings, you present it, then you need to change it. This will allow you to make changes pretty easy, as well as model, because it's always, you always have to sort of go through this exterior elevation, do the interiors. It can get very challenging. And this is a way to make it nice and clean and see it. And I'm not going to do all the modeling because it is basic modeling, but I'm basically going to show you what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start by tracing the interior wall again because I want to start by doing the floor. And again, I'm still on layer 0 because I do all my modeling on layer 0. If you're really paying attention, you might notice that in the meantime I've created a exterior layer, which is not needed. I'm sort of more doing that for demonstration purposes, but I missed. There we go. But it might also help because I can turn off the exterior layer of my model now. Which sometimes becomes convenient to do. So trace out this exterior wall. And again, I'm just tracing at the wall because what I'm doing is I'm creating a floor. I think I messed up that line there. Let me redo that one. Sometimes before a group is made like this, because I'm not yet working in a group. Let's see, where did I start this? If I double click on a line, I can see what other lines it's touching. Okay, so I've got what appears to be a closed group but no face. So what happened here in this model? Where am I missing a connection? Alright, so I had an issue with this back line right back here that was a little bit in 3 dimensions. I think because I had this 3-dimensional fridge in there, if you remember way back to how many videos ago. So when I close it off, I got this face. I'm just going to push-pull this up. Actually, I'll even push-pull it down to be easier. I'm going to do 12 inches just to give the floor thickness. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to triple-click on this guy and right-click and make component. Right, so that's the key. And I don't usually name my components, so component 12 is fine. It's going to say create. And we'll get this going here. Don't know why that one took so long, but there we go. Now it's a component. And what I'm going to do is I want to enter the component to sort of draw the rest of the walls. The reality is what I might do is the walls might want to be a different group, so you can do groups within components. So I'm going to triple click again on this and just make the ground a group. as well. And so what I can do is I can start drawing the interior walls just like you drew the exterior walls. So I'm going to start with my pencil tool, and I'm not going to worry about doors. I'll come back and do doors later, and I don't want to take too long, so I'm not going to do the entirety of this first floor plan. But see, I'm just going to go right across the door. I'm going to go right across this door, and I trace all the walls around. I'm not going to do it because it literally will almost get you all the walls for your entire set. So let me just do some walls here. I'm going to end it somewhere back here against that wall, and you'll come through and you'll also do the interior side of these rooms. So I'd have to make like a I'd end up coming through with this guy, and you can sort of see the plane coming through. And I'm going to draw where I can. I might even use a rectangle tool because that's going to divide that room up, so I can delete that piece of the triangle. And these square rooms are easy because I can just sort of do the entire room like that. If it's not a square room, you're going to have to use the pencil tool. But it can then delete out this interior plane and the interior plane. And if I select it, you can probably hardly see, but I've got these walls selected. And again, I do the whole house. I'm just not doing the whole house to save time here. And I'd extrude this up to the height. Now, if you don't know how high your building is going, and I can't remember, I'm just going to, for the first floor, I'm just going to jump back to CAD really quick, because particularly this back elevation, we can sort of say, okay, well, it looks like I might even look over to the front. I might draw a line really quick from, this is going to be the top of the floor, right from the door. So that's going to come here. And I'm going to say that this is the bottom of the floor of the second floor because this piece is blocking that out. So if I strike a line, if I just measure distance here, it says that's 8 foot 2 inches. So I probably meant it to be 8, and there's just some differences between the elevation because I could have done it from potentially another spot there. Sorry, that was the finalized version. Sneak preview. So I'm going to just do 8 foot 2 to get the height, right? And then I can come back and I can find where like my doors are, and I can just come in and I can draw a line up and say, okay, well, my interior doors, they could be 7 foot, they could be 6 foot 8. So I'll just draw up the height on each side just because I can see the door. So I can do I can just type in height on each side. I can cross the top, and then I can push-pull that right through the surface to create the door. Of course, you could go and add trim to all these things if you wanted to. I'm not going to. I don't think that level of detail is really going to be seen in the model. But you can see I've created this set of walls with this roof. And I could do the same thing for the second floor, which would be over here. Of course, this is open to below, so there'd be nothing here. The floor would just contain this area. I'll show you that on the finished. And what I did is I also copied the first floor just to construct the foundation. I mentioned that in the last video. And the only foundation walls I think I really have are on either side of the stair. I'll show you that in a minute. But let's say I've got this component now. When you could ultimately have all three components. What you want to do is copy it then into place. So I'm going to hit the move tool and press control for copy, and you might come through maybe like the door is a good spot again because I can get the right height there. So I might come to this point right here, and I'm copying it over, and I'm going to pull that right in the same spot, which was I think right there. And so of course the issue is you don't see it. That's why I put it off to the side. But if I zoom down, we can see the bottom of the floor. And you'd want to do the same for the second floor. You get it modeled and copy into place. Maybe again another good spot to sort of snap to would be this little line here, would sort of get you in the right elevation. You might have to tweak it as you sort of put it into place. But just basic modeling skills, do all the walls, then push-pull the doors. And when you do all that, so I sort of got a finished version over here, so you don't have to watch all the boring modeling. But I have done this. You see, I got all the walls, I got all the stairs. I even did a little bit of the kitchen over here. We can sort of see it. I've done the stairs. I just did open treads. You could do closed treads if you want. I don't think it's going to be that important for the model. And then I've done the second floor as well. We can see I actually even moved it up in this plane to sort of help in elevation. And what I had to do this part is I had to copy the roof over and sort of put it on this section. So I extrude the walls tall, just like I did the exterior model. And I did intersect with model, and then deleted those walls so that they would sit underneath the roof. And so if you need help with intersect with model, then go ahead and go see that video where I did it with the exterior walls, because it's the same thing, I just did it with the interior walls here. I have this little built-in desk on this side and a railing here that at least for now I just did as solid. And of course I did a foundation plan, which is just the first floor plan copied again, and then these two pieces of wall I put in there for the stairs to begin to close off the stairs. So I built those all over here as components, and then I copied them into place and oriented them correctly into here, so we can see if I turn off my exterior walls, so we can see it is all sort of stacked in and working here as well. We can see this double height space and the various components. And with that, your basic modeling, I'm going to turn this on. You'll notice when I was showing this file, I've turned off my CAD layer because I don't need that for the final model. But this is basically what your final modeling will look like. We're going to end, I think, the week here, but we're going to continue with this model a little bit before we get into Photoshop and doing some other renderings. We're going to be looking at materials and shadows and all that good stuff. But if you've gotten this far and you've got this model and it's nice and clean, you're in a great spot. So good luck, and I'll see you next time.